YouTube, first and foremost, shout out to Alien Army. Raise up, stand up, hit a comment, and definitely hit a like. Well, drop a comment and hit a like. If you don't know what Alien Army is, those are people that rock with me heavy. They're always hitting the like button and always dropping a comment on any channel. It helps out a whole lot, but I don't understand why somebody would leave a comment, with a question or a statement or whatever if they knew the person wasn't going to respond. Like, a lot of big channels do that. But I'm a small channel, and even if I get big, I'll always respond. I respond to 99.9% of my comments. If you don't know what to put as a comment, an emoji, an alien, a flame up, or a thumbs up, a flame, something cool like that, or if you have a question or anything like that, go ahead and do that. I am homeless. I do live in my vehicle. I've been homeless for quite some time. There's been other parts of my life where I've been homeless, where I didn't have a car and I actually lived on the street and stuff like that. So if you like this content, I do have something like 70 long form videos on YouTube. Check them out and subscribe. But I do want to jump into this video. Oh, real quick too, my Cash App is the same as my YouTube. If you want to bless me or show me show me love, my Cash App is the same as my YouTube name, AlienAscend, and not on your begging. I always put it at the end of the video, but I feel like people, I have a better chance of getting a donation by throwing it in the front. So that's what I'm going to do moving forward, or at least for a while I'm going to do that. Today's video: homeless, bad memories, and resentment. So I wrote it down. So I'm going to be talking about a lot of different stories in this. So I hope that, let's say, for example, my first little story or whatever, you're not too sure, it's not that interesting. Maybe the next one will be really interesting, but I'm going to be covering a lot of stuff, so rock with me on it. Bad memories and resentment. I guess the first thing that I want to touch on is I've seen a lot of people, like, let's say, for example, celebrity interviews, or people, out in public, people who've done documentaries before, and they go, if they get asked, if you could change anything in your life, or if do you have any regrets in your life? And for the majority of them, I don't think I could recall anybody ever saying, that they do have regrets, or that, if they could change something, they wouldn't. I honestly don't believe them when people say that, or I think to my head, they didn't have it, maybe they're either tougher than I am, or didn't go through the shit that I went through. Because it's God honest truth, yeah, if I could go back in time, there'd be so much things that I would change. I got tons of regrets, man, and I'd like to start off with that. So I have a really, really big heart, and I actually have a really good message in this video. It'll probably be towards the end, so stick with me. I always like to be positive. In here, when I'm talking this video, maybe I'll come off negative, because the name of the video is Bad Memories and Resentment. So me talking about this might make you think that's all I am, but it's far from the truth. I have a very, very big heart. It's very, very loving, but what a lot of people probably wouldn't say, and I'm very humble, and I'm very nice, and I'm very open, very transparent. This big loving heart that I have has a total, it's the yin and the yang, has a total different side to it, and that side is very angry. You can't be so loving without at least that's how it is with me. So, like, my lovingness, my kindness, my manners, the respect that I show people, the respect that I want, also has a flip side to it, that when I get sad, I turn sadness into anger. I think that I have a meter that can only take so much sadness, and then it turns into anger. But then I guess I'll start the story off. It was very, very close to my grandmother. And the last time I saw her before she passed away, she died from cancer. She beat cancer once and then didn't beat it the second time. I go out to lunch with her, and she's telling me what she's going to be leaving me when she passes away. And she tells me it's a wind funnel. So I got this like antique, nothing worth any substantial money or anything like that. But she's telling me the story. She's that windmills take negative energy and turn it into positive. So the negative blowing of wind, but then get something positive. And how I've always been like that my whole life. And I was extremely close to my grandmother. My grandmother passing left me devastated, to say the least. Like, I could even tell you, like, at the funeral, I remember certain family members coming up to me and saying, "Alien, are you okay?" And 9 times out of 10, I'd be like, yeah, I'm all right. Put on a mask, or what's the point of conveying something? Sometimes a lot of times, talking about things make it worse for me, and then at the flip side, talking about stuff can make things better. So it all depends, I guess, right? However the mood strikes. I know it sounds a little bit hypocritical or weird, but there's a lot of times where I don't want to talk about stuff, and then there's times where I don't mind being open. I guess that's just how I am, and I'm okay to admit that. I got lots of faults, and I got lots of pluses. I said not good. And when I was asked, I was like, I'm not good. And me saying just the words "not good" and people knowing me, family members knowing me when I said that, it was like they were like really blown away. Like Alien is going through it. You know what I mean? And yes, my nickname is Alien. My nickname's been Alien my whole life. Damn near everybody calls me that. You know what I mean? Maybe one day I'll make a video why I'm called Alien. But if you've been watching me for a while, you probably already figured it out and probably came up with some reasons why I'm called Alien and whatnot, right? So taking negative energy and turning it into positive is something that I've always been. But the name of this video is just bad memories and resentment, and I got a lot of that. So me having a big loving heart like that, and then the flip side, my heart, the way that I deal with sadness, the way I deal with anger, the way I deal with resentment. One thing is I don't forgive people. Like if it's something small and minute, sure, no need to cry over spilt milk. But when somebody does me bad, when somebody does me dirty, when somebody does me unfair, when I think that the way that they're treating me isn't the way that I've been treating them, and then I actually take a stand back and look at that and analyze it and stuff, I take that stuff really, really serious. There's a lot of things about me that I don't think me recording myself on YouTube really conveys the best. So the way that I do that, like, I have a really funny sense of humor. I don't think I've really shown that on YouTube very much. I'm a very, very shy person. I don't think YouTube shows that very much either. I'm really, really shy, especially in person. When I was a kid, I was extremely shy, but I do want to stay on this topic. Being shy like that, also very, very sensitive. I have thick skin. Like, a bad comment's not going to ruin my day. I'm not going to flip out. I don't come on here to cause drama, and I really don't I just don't get down like that. I don't get down like that in real life either. Like, I really don't care too much about gossip. I really don't care too much about drama. I'm somebody who just doesn't bring problems. I bring solutions. If I address a problem, I always want to address a solution, because I don't want to have the problems. That's the positive side of me. I'll see a problem, and then that would be referring to like how my grandma had told me, take the negative energy and find it positive. The bad memories and the resentment. Resentment towards teachers. I remember telling them I didn't like my name being called, to read, that I was shy. I used to be so shy, and I've mentioned this a few times in videos. My face would turn really, really red, and my voice would start cracking, and my eyes would water, and things like that. And I hated attention, man. I hated attention. And damn near all my teachers, especially growing up, they did. It wasn't in their job title, but they went out of their way to hurt me. And I still have resentment towards that, and I'll tell you about it. So I broke my arm in 2nd grade in elementary school. I've told the story before, but this is for maybe new people, or this is better, I don't know, audio or quality or whatever. I broke my arm at school in 2nd grade. I was playing on the monkey bars, and I broke my right arm, and I jumped from the monkey bar, and I hit my arm on it. Like, I overshot it, and I just hit my arm like that. And then when I fell, I landed directly on a rock and broke my arm. I knew instantly. I've always been a pretty tough kid. I don't cry over like physical pain and stuff like that. In fact, I don't want to go over the place. I'll just stick to the story. I didn't cry. It happened at recess early in the morning. I went ahead and walked to the nurse's office and told her I broke my arm. She said, no, I didn't. All she did was put your arms out in front of you, and no, you didn't break your arm. And then by then recess had ended, and she told me to go to class. So I went to class a couple minutes late after recess. The teacher's giving me a hard time about it, and she's being a total like acting like it's the end of the world, and being disrespectful, and putting me on Front Street. And I told her, I was like, I broke my arm. And she's like, you didn't break your arm, go sit down, alien, blah blah blah. Back then, did the teacher call me alien? No. She probably called, knowing that school and the stuff that I've been dealt with, she probably called me some stupid ass name, something disrespectful. And I go ahead and sit down, and then probably about a couple minutes later, she's like, everybody pull out your math book from your desk. And I couldn't get the book out. I had no strength in my hand. I couldn't close my right hand at all. and I was quite worried, to tell you the truth. You know, imagine trying to move you know, your hand and you're unable to. You know, the kid next to me, I asked him. It might even been a girl, but I think it was a dude. I was like, hey bro, can you get my book out for me, man? My arm is broken. And just me just whispering that, even though everybody else is being loud and, you know, having a great time, and people are popping gum and chewing candy, drinking sodas, you know, shaking up candies of Pop Rocks and acting absolutely a fool, me whispering that was an issue. At least that's what it feels like, and what I remember. He pulls out the book to help me, and then she yelled about it. You know, I don't remember exactly what she yelled at, like, no talking, and why is he touching your book, and, you know, something along those lines. And I called her a bitch, is what I told her to shut the hell up. I think I said, shut up, you stupid bitch, is what I said to her. And I was a foul-mouthed kid when I got angry. I was really, really quiet, but I had no problem. Like, I cursed like a sailor when I was a kid. I had no parental things telling me to do otherwise, or, you know, like, you know, I lashed out, you know. I said that, and then she yelled and told me to come over towards her, and I did. She asked to put my arms out in front of me, and I did, because I was like, my arm's broken. That's what the fucking problem is. Probably shouldn't have said the effort on YouTube, but, you know, it's gonna slip a little bit, because I'm like, when I tell these stories, a lot of the times I relive it. Like, it feels like it's like a fresh movie inside my head, except for the emotions are still there. Like, I'm upset that you know, when a kid hurts themselves, especially to the extreme of me breaking my arm, that everything had to be so difficult that nobody could just believe me or watch after me or do the right thing. Like, how is me sticking my arms out going to show you that when I'm telling you I can't move my hand and my arm hurts, and I'm pointing and I'm telling you this is what happened? It's not like I said, hey, I washed my hands and broke my arm. If I said I washed my hands and I slipped and I landed on my elbow, or I braced my fall with my arm, you know, it's not like what I'm saying is inconceivable. So she tells me to put my arms out, and she grabs my right arm, that's the arm I broke, and she grabs it and she pulls it. And she doesn't just, you know, like not like a little nice little pull like that. She yanks it, and it hurts extremely bad. She yanks it, and I jumped up and I hit her in the jaw, and I knocked her out. I threw a left hook. I'm not proud of it. That was my natural reaction. You know, I've talked about this before, and I'm not glorifying anything. I do, and I'm not trying to be, you know, everybody's a tough guy telling me when I'm not trying to be like that at all. When I say I knocked her out, I knocked her out. I'm talking about she was on the floor snoring with her eyes behind her head, you know, rolling behind her head, and her leg like moving around, and like her body all, you know, like, imagine Mike Tyson when he knocks somebody out and how they're not getting up and moving. Okay, so this wasn't like I put somebody on their butt, or I just busted their lip, or I knocked a tooth out, or I flattened their nose, busted their eyebrow. No, she was out cold. I did that. And I'm not going to tell you all the details because I talked about it in the story, but real quick, I ended up going to the hospital that day. They did x-rays. When I had x-rays done, they contacted, I believe it was like some kind of child protective services or whatever it was called at the time. I think that's what they were called. But they saw marks all over my body because I was being abused. You know, and it wasn't just little marks, you know, really bad stuff. And they wanted to investigate me. Well, they wanted to talk to me to find out where all my other injuries are. They were thinking that my arm didn't get broke at school and that it could have been broke somewhere else. And then they also wanted to know why my back was a certain way and everything else. Like, I can't just talk about everything on YouTube. Unfortunately, I have some videos on here that go into further detail that I would if you enjoy this, watch this whole thing and then go ahead and check that video out. That video has a yellow monetization button next to it, so it means that it's really not being pushed out and that I'm really not getting you know, getting any pennies for it. So far, I am a YouTube partner. Just throw this out, I am a YouTube partner. Never got paid. I think with all my videos, I'm up to $42. It takes $100 or more. You need at least $100 to get a payment. I'm a small channel. I haven't made that. That's why you know, if you want to bless me or show me some love through my Cash App, that would really help me out. And you know, there's a lot of things I'm struggling on, but I don't want to come off like I'm begging or anything like that. But yeah, anything that anybody wants to show me love or bless me on would be cool. So back to the story. Me breaking my arm like that, I get a cast and I do get investigated. Like, you know, people want to people with authority want to talk about it, and I was threatened, I was coached, and I was coerced on what to tell those people, and the person that was doing it to me was, threatened my mom, threatened my brothers and my sisters, and told me what my life is going to be like if I snitch or if I say anything. Also promising that none of that stuff would ever happen again, and that we don't, that things will be better. All the manipulation and stuff like that is very wrong, and I believed it. I was a kid, so what I was coached on saying is exactly what I did. Very next, but like I said, I told me I was called a nightstick break because I broke it right here, like on my forearm. It's called a nightstick break because when cops used to attack people with their batons, you cover up your head, you put your hands up like this or whatever, you get hit right here. It's a very, very bad break. Especially that's why it's called nightstick break, and it was on my like it's my arm, but it's my forearm. I go ahead and they put me in a cast. I got to be in this cast for 6 months. The cast goes from middle of my shoulder all the way down to like not just ending at my wrist. It actually came up to where my hands were, and my hand had that thing wrapped like this, so I really couldn't move my wrist either. Everything was locked in position. I go to school the very next day, and the teacher in the whole school was scared that we could sue them because it happened there, and I sought medical attention. And not only was I denied, but I was assaulted at the very least. You know what I mean? Like that teacher pulled my arm. I never got in trouble for hitting her. However, it did set a precedence. Like, I was always treated bad at that school anyways, but for the age of 2nd grade, which people might think, that's hard to believe, but this is a different time. This is in the hood, these people were, they could get away with, like, cell phones weren't everywhere. Like, there was no cell phones. There was no social media. There was nothing like that. It was a different, I thought the whole world was very small, and that everything that went on was a normal, and thank God that it wasn't. It was just I had it bad, and these are bad memories, So I go back to the school, and then a lot of times the teachers were moving forward. Like, I retaliated in the school. I did stuff. The resentment that I would feel is when I got ganged up, when it was more than one person. It used to drive me insane, is what it felt like. And what I mean is there's 3 or 5, however the case is, because this happened a lot of times. Let's say, for example, 3 people were picking on me, and let's say, for example, they're bigger and they're older than me, because the junior high was next door. So these people were bigger and stuff like that, and there was way too many of them, and they would beat the crap out of me. Okay, you got that. Very impressive. I was really small as a kid, and this is what goes to my mind. You must have been so proud, and you must have thought it was so impressive that it took so many of you, and it was little old me who didn't do a damn thing to you. It's not like I stole something, not like I was talking shit to you, not like I was a snitch, wasn't like I just a kid walking down the street. And a lot of the times, it was the color of my skin, because I was white. You know what I mean? I grew up in the hood and stuff like that, and they, I'd get called all sorts of names and everything else. And, some of those times that I got jumped, I was the last man standing. Sometimes I wasn't. It just be like that. But what the resentment and the bad memories, that popped in my head when that would happen is I would quickly understand what somebody's weaknesses were. The weakness is they would only be willing to do that if there's several of them. They only were able to do that if there was no parental people around. They would only be able to do that, if the teacher had their back. So some of the stuff that I would do is, and I did this all the time. It's one of the reasons why I'm nicknamed Alien, is because I do things that are very unorthodox and out there. I'll give you a hint of why I got the nickname Alien. So if I got hurt by a bunch of people who jumped me and did me wrong, and I felt that resentment, I was treated unfairly, I'd jump in somebody's backyard when they're playing by themselves, and now I got you. Now you ain't got your homeboys. Now, you know, if you you know, were afraid to fight in front of a teacher, I had no problem turning that classroom into a war zone, and me throwing a desk flying at you, you know. And I did those things, and I'm not proud of them. I'm just telling you how I reacted. Especially as a kid, I had a very, very hard time with impulse control. When somebody did something wrong to me, I wanted to settle it right then and there. And the resentment and things that would happen is if I couldn't get off right there, or it was outnumbered, because I started learning really quick. It feels way better to win than lose. Like, okay, how am I going to outsmart this person? Oh, okay, you act like a totally different kid when you're in front of your mom. Let me catch you. Okay, your mom's going to be picking you up, you know, after school today. Great. I want her to see what I'm going to do to you. You know what I mean? And I would knock on people's doors and act like I was their friend. After they did something like this, like their mom or dad would answer the phone, not phone, but answer the door. And I'd be like, you know, hey, is Brandon there? You know, it's Alien. You know, he told me to come over here after school. And she started opening the door a little bit and she called for Brandon. And once Brandon was like, you know, who's at the door? You know, like, who's at the door, mom? You know what I'm saying? This went on like all the way to like junior high or whatever. But like right when that happened, I'm running in there, and I didn't care. Like, I ran in there, and now I got you. Now I got you one-on-one. You know, and I don't want it to make the video all about this, but I wanted to talk about the resentment that I felt and how I used to react. The resentment that I felt, I even felt resentment towards people that didn't take things for people that took things for granted. So I've talked about before, my mom has multiple sclerosis and she's in very bad health. She was in very bad health when I was 12 years old as well. And of course things get worse as time goes on, especially with that very bad disease. I felt resentment when people were able to go meet their mom out for lunch and my mom couldn't even walk. I felt resentment when she, you know, like she couldn't drive. She, you know, if we invited her in, invite her to go to lunch, she could never meet me there, and I would see people taking for granted, like, you know, man, my mom wants me to come over here to meet her for lunch, or, you know, my mom wants to come over, my mom wants me to go home because they're gonna, my mom's gonna take me for school shopping. I didn't feel resentment towards the people who got that. I did feel resentment when they were ungrateful. Like, do you know how bad I wish, you know, like, school shopping? You know, when they when they would complain that they didn't get that $200 pair of shoes, they got that $100 pair of shoes. And this is more in the high school days, because I did go to a pretty rich high school. At that point, we moved to, you know, it was kind of 50-50. It was a lot better than where I was growing up at, that's for sure. However, where I grew up at was only 20-minute drive, you know, if that. But it sure did feel like a different area. When it was a different area, it sure felt like the world was opening up more. There, some of those things that I had witnessed when I was a kid weren't going on so prevalent there. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'd feel resentment when people were like, you know, they didn't have they act like they didn't like their mom, but their mom was doing a bunch of nice stuff for them. And I wish that I had a mom that was like that, you know, or I wish I had a dad that was like that. I wish I had brothers like that. I wish I had sisters like that, you know. You know, them mad that when they were 18 years old, most of the I guess the richer kids, they got cars when they were 15 and a half and 16, you know, bought for them. And, you know, instead of it being a brand new, you know, $20,000 car, maybe it was a couple years older, but it was, you know, a $10,000 car. And they'd be like, no, I wanted that BMW. I wanted that Mercedes. They weren't happy with, you know, that Chevy S10, you know what I mean? Or, you know, that Toyota Tundra. Or, you know, they weren't happy that it wasn't a brand new Cadillac. Instead, it was a Lincoln Town Car that was a few years older. It was a little bit older, but it was hooked up really nice. I never understood that stuff. You know, did I ever get anything like that? Absolutely not. You know, but some of those bad memories, you know, I do want you guys to check out my trauma. I think it was called Traumatic Childhood. I think it was the third video I put out, so it'd be really easy to find. So you can see on really the elaborateness of the bad memories. But what I want to talk about more right now is the resentment, and then I want to talk about you know, a positive message. The resentment, I still deal with it. I try to turn it all to positives, and I guess I'll talk about the good message now. Those things that I went through, I think that's why I have such a big heart, because I wish it never happened to me. I don't do those things to people. I do the right thing. I do the right thing even when nobody's looking. Trustworthy. I do take offense when it's something I'm still work on. Is when somebody doesn't, if I was willing to give you the shirt off my back, but if I'm in a bad situation, you're not willing to do that for me, I do feel a way about that, and I think that's quite normal. But me being sensitive, I take it like, all right, I have a very hard time forgiving people. The resentment that I feel is, I think that a lot of things, I guess this is the regret that I talked about in the beginning. I wish that I would have had more of a support. I wish that I would have had a good dad. I wish I wasn't a punching bag when I was a kid. I wish that I had role models that were positive. I wish that I didn't always have to learn things the hard way and learn them on my own. I wish that I didn't have to go to bed hungry so many times. I wish that I didn't have to learn certain skills to get by in life. I'm very, very incredible good at reading people. I know what people are going to do before they even do it. Even my friends that even like newer friends that I've only known for a couple of years, they all say the same thing. I know a trader before they know themselves. I know, and I mean, that's a great skill for me to have, and I only have that skill because I went through so much stuff. But it sure would be nice to not always have to be hyper vigilant and always look over my back. A part of me feels a little bit of resentment towards when people are like, I didn't get a good night's sleep. You didn't? Well, I'm sleeping in my car. You're gonna tell me that you were cold last night or that rain kept you up. What do you think it sounds like when you're sleeping in a car and you got a metal roof and rain is just dropping on it? I have a very hard time. That rain, that Midwest rain, that violent rain that just pours down and it's hitting my car, and my car is like, it's a Honda Civic, basically kind of like a very thin metal of steel or aluminum, whatever it's made out of. It makes a lot of noise in here, and I have a very hard time. And I'm like, and then the way I think and the way that I feel, and this is part of the positive messages, is I'm lucky to be sleeping in my car. There's a lot of places that are in drought. They wish they had water. There's a lot of people that walk over 5 miles and got to carry the water back to where they live on top of their head. In third world countries. I'm thankful for the little bit that I have, and I guess that's what I want to talk about in the positive messages. Is that I'm extremely thankful for what I have. But I do want a whole lot more, and it's not going to be handed to me, of course. You know what I mean? I'm not naive. I do want to change homeless people's circumstances out here. I do want to be able to interview them. And, I've gotten those comments where people want me to interview them and talk about it and then show some really, stuff. And I could definitely do that. If I actually had the financial stability to give them a little bit of something, I'm sure they'd go on camera. I've asked several people, I've asked a good 3 or 4 people. They don't want to do it, What is, I'd have to catch them when they, were really hungry or really hard up. Or I'd have to, be like, hey, listen, on my platform, I'm able to do this. And what I would honestly do if I had all that kind of money and resources, I'd probably make a Patreon and probably have it for free or have it very, very low and have that stuff on there. I still, at some point, want to make a Patreon. But let's say, for example, I miraculously had millions of dollars. I wouldn't stop what I'm doing now on YouTube. I would continue doing that. But I do want to end homelessness. And I'm not that naive. If somebody's like, hey, Alien, how do you think you're going to be doing that when you're barely surviving doing DoorDash and there's times where you can't go to work because you don't have enough gas money, or you got to wait till you got to hope that somebody gives you a tip so you can go get some gas and continue working for the rest of the day? Well, YouTube has made a lot of people millionaires. Now, do I think it's, could it very, very easily happen with just one video? If YouTube or the algorithm decided to show my video to, 5 million people, and out of those 5 million people, 2 million of them clicked or whatever, and then they checked out my other content, could that happen? Absolutely. Now, that would be a little bit far-fetched for me to think that would happen, even though it's happened to so many people. But you know what? Where am I going to be in 10 years continuing to do YouTube? So, I'm still in my first year of actually posting content. Nine years from now, who's to say that I wouldn't have millions of viewers? Or millions of people that subscribe to me, or millions of people that rocked with me. Let's say that it didn't even take millions. There's people that have 100,000 subscribers, and that they do YouTube full time. they quit their job. They make over $100,000 a year. You know, I'm someone who could survive on very little and make a lot happen with money. You know, but you know, I don't want a huge ass video. I mean, I don't mind having a huge video, but I was thinking I'm getting sidetracked a little bit. I want to thank you, everybody. If you watched all the way through the video, definitely let me know inside the comment, you know, comment box. You know, I guess the secret word will be top ramen. If you say top ramen in comments, I know that you've watched to you know, around the end of the video. You know, hit a like button, drop a hit a subscribe, drop a comment, hit a like button and subscribe. Like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to bless me or show me love, my Cash App is the same as my YouTube name, AlienAscend. I'll put it in the description. And check out all my other content, and I want to thank you so much.